So, hopefully finish off today. If I don't really care all that much. I'm still having a huge blast with the game. But I'll probably kind of focus on finishing the main story up as best I can, and then leave the side quests for when there's more content in the game. If I recall correctly, Saipat requires a lot of yes, it does. It's a lot of experience to level up. So let's get this show on the road. If at any point I feel a large period of dead air coming on, what you can't see because I don't use a webcam, is that I have a box of Rory's story cubes next to me, and we will be engaging in some story time. Now I'm reasoning that the deeper into the dungeon I go, the higher level the Temtem are. I have no empirical evidence for this, but also it just means I'm not running up and down in one spot. And I'm very surprised that my microphone is not picking up the car that is revving outside, because it is extremely loud. So what are Rory's story cubes? They are, well, it is a set of 9 6-sided cubes, except instead of the numbers 1 to 6, each face has a picture on it, and the idea is you make a story from them. On Mondays, as I believe I've mentioned, do D&D, well, do role-playing game prep, so I like to keep my storytelling skills, you know, flexible, and keep my improv up, so I use them when I'm stuck for ideas or when I want to test myself. And they just make a great, simple game. Anyway. But this grind is going to take a while, so that's going to be fun. What? Oh, of course I had that problem last time. Oh, I wonder how many of the encounters have reset. I mean, it's good experience, but I wonder how many of the encounters reset. I don't think this is going to be... No. Oh well, like I say, yeah, see the ring didn't appear. It's good experience for my Temtem. Roaring as Untamed Temtem and the Stoffel as a Kasuan Stampede. 71 damage. Oh boy. Sure. Meanwhile, Saipat needs another 10 of those to level up. What am I at, 26? See if there's a custom animation for this. That was a bad idea, but oh well. No, not yet. Oh dear. That didn't go as well as I hoped. Lucky, there's type advantage. I still don't understand why Martial Strike is a 2-turn countdown and has the lowest stamina cost. Oh well, I'm sure it makes sense to someone. Looks like Saipat is going to take some damage. Oh, when I'm at 10, which I think. Oop. Yep. 7. Oh boy. Never mind. Let's take some exertion damage on Saipat just to get this over with. Because again, it needs a lot of experience, for whatever reason, to level up. Okay, you can have my loot, just old ceramic shard and a few dusty trinkets. Looting the place? Well, that's not your business, is it? I'm just making hay while the sun shines or while the darkness holds. So I did... Weird. I think last time... Actually, I don't think I fought him last time. I just kind of ended up in a state where he was telling me just to take his... to leave him alone. That guy... is from the dojo. Yeah, fire armor. Doesn't really matter. It's 2v1, it's not going to last terribly long. Just wish Saipat had a bit more stamina. Skunch and his sweet tail balancing moves. Go with the priority move to see if we can limit losses, or limit damage taken. Never mind, wasn't worth it. What are we doing? There we go. Saipat's in the orange. Oh no. Yeah, its stamina for some reason is just so low. This is the wrong path, isn't it? Is this one I just came out of? I really should have been paying attention. Oh well, guess we'll find out soon enough. Right, this is going to be more a case of conserving stamina. So we'll just take care of the lowest health one first. Man, this scale will really have it in for Saipat. $52, $50, but has a high priority. Doesn't have a cool animation, but I'll let it slide. Ah, why? Oh, apparently the boxes and things reset. Ah, here you are. The Roku's been challenging our mighty forces. Beating your pathetic forces, more like. I'll give you a lesson, and with just one Temtem, your humiliation will be an even greater victory for Clan Bel Soto. And the game has soft locked. Again, reminder, it's an alpha. Yep, it's soft locked. So let's just Alt Tab out. Don't know why I did that. Close the game. Wait for it to respond again. Go through Steam. the game is played through Steam. Interesting. Weird. Hopefully that fixes the problem. Nope, this one. Please don't do it the thing again. Well, trigger the dialogue, pick a different option, it's me. My humiliation, yada yada. Oh, thank God. It worked. Banshee, get ready. So I've got level 20. Kinda humiliate me with a single level 11 Temtem. I see. Oh, half damage. Tattery might not be great in this situation. Let's see how well this does. Enough. But that will definitely be something I have to remember going forwards. If I had 2 Temtem. Yeah, well, you didn't have 2 Temtem because you were overconfident. What am I doing? How am I doing for... There we go. I know I'd bought a few. For my brief stint behind the counter. My turn to defeat you. Like your friend did? You'll see! I will indeed see. Pick a pick, get ready. I have not encountered one of these in a long time. And it's amazing how quickly things go when you aren't doing half damage. Adios. Slan. £49 sons. Ah! It's my incredible voice acting there. And again. Ah! I'm gonna beat you. These options are incredible. You're gonna fail like the last one. Ah! Saku. It's like a greatest hits of the start of the game. But it is one level higher than the others, so there's that to be careful of. Never mind. Yeah. This is not how it's supposed to go. How? How the heck? Right. Oh. Oh well. I'm going to beat you all on my own. You think so? Yes. Nah. Why? You're like the 4th one to try. I'm better than them. Okay. Okay then. Let's see how well you do with your single Umishi. Again, it is level 12. I'm just going to assume that a water move isn't going to do terribly much. Oh. Oh dear. 52 Pansons from the foolish Beltoto. Oh snap. Yep. I did kind of tell you, dude. Undeceived. Guys, help me defeat... Guys? Sorry. We were supposed to work as a team. They should have listened to you. Yeah, why won't they just... Hey, I didn't take advice from you. I'll beat you. Let's get this over with. Then before they wreck me. It's looking possible, but not likely. Oh, it's looking less possible, chat. I love the fact that there are moves like pressure wash in the game already, but I don't think they've only fired Temtem to act as an ally to trigger it. I've just noticed how little stamina both of these Temtem have. Ouch. No! She won't forgive this affront. Aha! Yep, nope. This will be the top floor then that I can get to without having the full team. So chat, 20 minutes in, 17-ish minutes in, let's get the grind going. Just gonna pre-roll my story cubes while these animations play out. Assign them into a random order. Oh, why couldn't you have died? Why did I just do that? Yeah. I'm going to choose to assume that it has the stamina for that. I'll be honest, I wasn't really looking. Okay, so fighting type techniques do half damage. Luckily, that's an absurdly high damaging move. So I guess rather than just running backwards and forwards in one spot, which will get boring for me and for you, and will frankly make my fingers start to hurt. Random team. I might just run from the opening to that staircase and back again continuously. Doesn't really matter. Just to give some variation to what we witness. Ow. Well, knocked itself out at least. I think Saku might be heading for a huge chunk of XP in a moment. Oh, never mind. Should get side back to level 21 though. Yeah. God, I need stamina so badly. Nope. Nope. This way. Scale. So what have we got? We've got a clock, we've got a fire, we've got a book, a question mark, a map of the world. A keyhole. It's like a walking stick, a scarab, and an eye. That is the order of the story cubes. That's it for Saipat. R.I.P. Saipat. I just have to remember to. Oh, it doesn't really matter actually. I don't care who gets the experience. They all need leveling. So it doesn't really need to. I don't really need to alter my party after this untamed encounter. Oh yeah. 12. Cool. Why not? The Wily is adorable, but its moveset is a bit lacking, I feel, at this point. This way. I like a lot of movesets, really, I've noticed. They're either absurdly good, as in the case of like Crystal, with Crystal Dust, or kind of bad, really, without any real standout decent offensive capability. Although, admittedly, that could just be my Temtem stats influencing their attack values and whatnot. But not having the stamina, that's the word. Not having the stamina is really making things difficult. And again, that's to some extent that's just random, and the Temtem I caught, so I'm gonna do the best I can. Gotta stop hunching as well. Posture is important, chat. Posture is very important. You've only got the one back. Grind is going to take so long. Nope. I don't think I'm going to make it, chat. I don't think I'm going to make it to end this today. Nope. And again. I don't know why I did that, because I could have just done this. There we go. Fresh Temtem. Run all the way back to the top. So I've been giving, as I mentioned last time I played this, some thought about kind of what I'm playing and when things, and sort of a stream schedule. So Monday is, as will take the long way. Monday's going to stay the same. Monday will be D&D streams, or role-playing like GM tip streams, and workshopping stuff with chat. As long as I can think of a topic that week, that is. Cool. So yeah, that's Mondays, and then try and upload those as soon afterwards as I can. Thursdays, after I finish this or starting next week, depending on which comes sooner. Keep walking to that wall. Thursdays are probably going to be like a bigger game, like a bigger story game. So I'm thinking continue the playthrough of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines I started a few months ago. Because it's been on my list for a while. I started it at university and never finished it. So it'd be cool to finish that as a Malkavian. And then Fridays play smaller games. Because obviously I'm doing this as a part-time thing, trying to build an audience and set up a channel and grow the community and whatnot. And I do have 2 part-time jobs as it is. Obviously I've only been playing Temtem for about 2 hours a day, twice a week. And well, that's fine. And it means I get to play at least 4 hours a week during the day while my partner's at work. It's not great for audience purposes, because obviously some people like this kind of game and some people don't. So I was going to, as I play smaller games on a Friday, I think. Roughly the same time, starting around 2 o'clock-ish my time. And then running through running for a few hours. And I'm thinking of starting with this really cool looking point and click game called Apocalypsis. It's kind of designed to look like medieval woodcuts, but the art style looks incredible. The gameplay apparently is pretty simplistic. It's just a point and click game, as I say, where you just, each screen in the game is a puzzle that you have to solve. Did I go down there? Each screen is a puzzle you have to solve to progress onto the next one, and then it shouldn't take that long. And I've got a few games like that, like The Bridge, which is heavily inspired by MC Escher's work. I think it's MC Escher anyway. Escher's works, and yeah, just games that aren't going to take 20 plus hours to, second puberty, 20 plus hours to beat, essentially. Because I can get through those, and hopefully some people will be interested in those who aren't interested in Vampire the Masquerade, and then after VTM, which will take a while, take months, 2 hours a week. Do things like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and then keep Fridays for less story-driven games, I guess, or shorter story-driven games that aren't stupidly long RPGs. And depending on how that goes, I'll be getting a capture card and stuff so I can capture from consoles so that I can play newer games. Oh good, these guys didn't reset. Yeah, I went down. Oh, but the box might have reset. If there is a box. I can't remember if there's a box down here. So that's my plan going forwards. As I say, starting next week or tomorrow if I finish up the story content. Oh, if I finish the story content today for this, but as I say, I doubt I will. The problem is, of course, that, and this is just partly related to time zone, I imagine, and other factors, but my D&D streams just do way better than these Temtem streams. I don't want to abandon Temtem because it's such a fun game, and I want this to be kind of an accurate representation of my first reactions to the alpha, so that when I come back to play it again, kind of I know a little of what to expect and can try and figure out what's different and hopefully draw people in with that. But it doesn't do well in terms of viewers on Twitch. YouTube does better than the D&D stuff, or the role-playing stuff, so go figure. But I might be streaming twice tomorrow, depending on certain circumstances. So if you like the sound of my monotonous drone, I guess get hyped for that. And if you don't, then of course you don't have to tune in. The grind is real though. The grind is very real. Actually, I think I could speed it up. Because I don't think Crystal gains experience anymore. Oop. Theory to test. So if I'm not sharing the experience between my Temtem, they might level a little faster. Let's see if this is if this is indeed the case. Also, of course, the Wily is a wind type, so I get that sweet crystal dust bonus. Please work, please work. Anything to shrink the grind. Hello, welcome. Stellar damage output. Simply breathtaking. No, I don't think it is. That's annoying. Oh, one sec, chat. Sorry, had to cough. So that was what? 90. So the encounter goes faster because of crystal dust. Let's see if the experience was still being shared though. And now of course no random encounter is being generated. And because I'm using a keyboard, I can't just walk slowly. There we go. Let's see if that works. Well, let's see if this works. I mean, it's no big deal if it doesn't. As I've said before, I love playing this game, so I don't mind the grind, but stuff to talk about, man. Ow, please stop. So no, so Crystal was still getting the experience, but it just can't level any higher, so it wasn't showing me the experience it was gaining. Okay, never mind. I might as well just keep doing this. I mean, sure, the encounter goes faster with crystal dust involved, but I'd be doubling the grind time, so there's no real point in doing it. What would be cool? And obviously all the information is going to be on the wiki eventually anyway, but it would be cool if there was some way of, if you'd caught the Temtem before, of being able to analyze a wild Temtem so you could learn its type. In case you forget, or you have trouble remembering things like that, or you leave for a long period and then come back to it. Who knows what Sophia thinks as I'm running backwards and forwards in front of her slowly. Fierce Claw. Yeah, I win. Level 22. Getting close, but still got so long ahead. So very long ahead. But I'm not even sure if the double battles go any faster. I'm sure I don't have to absolutely press the right key. I don't have to, you know, take the few steps and have the animation of the encounter starting, but at the same time it adds another attack animation. I guess it's still faster though. Depending on what the animation is, I guess. I suppose. And how much text has to scroll and stuff like that. Depending on how far I get on the grind today. You know what? I'm gonna go and heal up. I might. No, it's not worth it. I'll just swap those two. I guess I could go even longer. Add the extra floor. Yeah, I might play off stream over the weekend and during the week just to get to level 25. So that I don't have to talk into the void for 2 hours. Ah yes, I'd forgotten how kind of chip damage Ganky was. Because while I am, you know, perfectly capable of talking into the void for 2 hours, as I have had to do several times, it's not great for mental health. And that's fine. I know it's all part of building a Twitch audience. Being a small stream is you always run the risk of nope, wrong way. Of not having an audience for long stretches of time. And I knew that when I started. It just is, as I say, it does wear occasionally, especially with everything else going on. But hey, I mean, if I want to build an open and inclusive audience, then I've got to be open about my own problems. I'm just going to assume that scale is a ground, earth, whatever type. I really should bring up the type effectiveness chart for these streams. Yeah. Nope, this way. Went down the wrong one, chap. I knew it as soon as I went down there. Oh well, these things happen. I mean, I'll try it, but I don't think... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Cool. Yeah. Man, if my team was at 25 for that quote-unquote gauntlet of Bel Soto trainers with single Temtem, that would have been even easier. And it wasn't particularly difficult as it was. So I do wonder in the get off the corner in the final game how many different arena battlefield textures there will be. I figure there's probably at least one for each island's overworld, maybe just one for each underground. But then again, who knows? I really should put Ganky second position just to so that I can use Chain Lightning. Although DC Beam's doing a decent amount of damage, so. Not the sand, anything but the sand. That is an extremely angry looking little flying bug thing, Genki, when it does DC Beam. Oh, the Wally's getting to level 22. Oh, 22, sorry. Poor thing. Yeah, so if I'll go to the end and then I will actually leave the dungeon this time though. The fort and, you know, heal my Temtem up. I love Scunch's little quiff thing. Look at his happy little face. It's about to become the rage face. Not a rage face, of course. The rage face. A face of rage as opposed to a meme. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, rage face memes were pretty big while I was at school. That'll do. Yeah, I highly suspect this is going to run over until tomorrow at least. So I might play some off stream tonight just to get the experience. Take the shorter paths back, just to cut down on time, also because I have low health. Well, not I personally, obviously, but my Temtem have low health. Look at that sweet, sweet XP. So Skunch, I'm assuming, is a portmanteau of skunk and punch. What with it looking like a skunk and punching people. Oh, Temtem. Scale, maybe skunk and tail. And I mean, I'm assuming the one evolves into the other. Which, if you haven't seen the evolution animation in Temtem, you owe it to yourself to check out, because it is incredible. Get rid of the cursor. My cursor keeps appearing because I keep checking my email and I have to click in the window again. So sorry about that. Just waiting on job stuff. Gonna take a quick drink. I'm back with you. No, Ganky. Man, experience. So much experience is needed. One of them is going to get the experience at least. Ah, they'll both get it, it's fine. That's a point. Yeah, I guess Crystal just isn't gaining experience anymore. Which is fine, you know. If the kind of level cap is 25, then clearly I've reached it. I'm not even facing that. For my own personal peace of mind. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's X to move them around. Yeah. Not only will I do that. X, you fool. X. Do that. I don't have a key, sorry. But I mean, you're certainly welcome to stick around and watch. The game's pretty fun. Back to punching skunks. I mean, it looks more like a squirrel personally, but obviously squirrel is SQ, not SK. We did it. We beat the skunk. So much experience. I think this is the first time I've encountered a FOMU here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be here or not. It's gonna get wrecked is what it's gonna do. Poor thing. I felt bad for doing that, I'll be honest. Oh, I guess it's because there's a large pool of water. Herped it up. That would explain it. Unless it's not a water type, in which case I've not found one of those here before. I don't think this will do much, but just noticed Genki has so little health. Oh boy. Hopefully it'll end up in at a glass cannon situation. And it has absurd. Oh, it's a glass cannon, isn't it? No, it's attack. I panic every time I almost target one of my own Temtem. I'm not sure why you can do it, but I know I'm going to fall foul of it at some crucial moment. Pardon me, chat, sorry. Trouble with having a headset mic. Guess some things are just rarer than others. Oh, whoops. Of course, it's an electric type. Genki is going to be useless in this situation. Random over-enunciation of less there. Oh, well, there's that at least. So wind is not effective against wind, but nothing else is. Everything else seems fine against its own type. That's weird. That's going to take some getting used to. Nope. This one. And there was me taking the mick out of the NPC for walking into a wall. Scunch. It's a fun word to say. It's got a good mouthfeel. Now this is something that I've always wondered, because sure. Why not? No one else seems to understand what I say when a word has good mouthfeel. I just like saying certain words, like scunch. Other less positive words. Ooh. I just wondered if anyone else felt that way. I do get the distinct feeling that some moves have a higher stamina cost because they are potentially stronger moves, but if you don't have an ally Temtem of the right type, then they're not as useful. Just gonna swap that out. Whee! I didn't mess up the stairs that time. I like how it's very definitely a bird quacking. A duck quacking, even. So that's a question. So the description for Sharp Leaf mentions it as a defense against herbivores. So are nature type Temtem a plant? As in just an animate sentient plant? Because that's the only way a herbivore would be eating them. Which then leads me to question if they're connected in much the same way as mushroom colonies and things like that. And I'm probably overthinking this bright and colourful game. But if I can't overthink things, what's the point? And we'll likely never get an answer either. And of course, there's always the fact that I occasionally miss the context area for the stairs and kind of have to run around blindly to find it. I think priority really matters at this point. It does, I guess. Reduces the damage I take. So again, I Temtem take. And Temtem has a good mouthfeel. I'm so glad that there is no one else in the house right now, because me talking about mouthfeel would just be very confusing. But I hope that I'm not alone in enjoying words with good mouthfeel, or alone in knowing what mouthfeel is. Yeah. I think I'm gonna grab another drink while these animations play out, so I'll obviously mute my mic. There we go. Also managed to sneak in an unobtrusive cough. Also tried moving right with the D key. That wouldn't have worked so well. In fact, it didn't work at all. The D key, the F key. Would have been very confused if I then tried to go left with S. Yeah. So very close. So very close. And back to the top of the loop. I will say I'm very happy that the game doesn't crash when you won't tab out to check on things like email and whatnot. Oop, almost did it. I've played games that regrettably do take the long way around for the greater chance of encounter. This should push Saku's health 21. Which means they are all within 4 levels of quote unquote max. Just realised I never moved my mic back after taking my drink. Yeah. Could do more stamina and better moves, but I'll take it. Sharp Leaf's doing okay for now. How are we doing? 90. Next encounter should do it if it survives. Everything else, quite a lot more. I don't think those pink bars are representative of where the experience is. I mean, I know they're not on the main screen, but that's not where they should be. So I'm going to go by the numbers. This is still going to take a while. So thank you if you stick around to, you know, watch the grind. If not, have fun doing whatever you choose to do. I'm going to be here for a while. Not necessarily online, of course. But if I get bored, I do have the story cubes for story time. So I've seen the Luma. It is pretty sweet. Thank you for showing it to me. I thought it was a Luma, but I wasn't sure. And I've seen it quite a few times running up and down, you know, trying to trigger encounters and things. Ooh. I really should play for, you know, try to farm Lumas, but so many other things to do. So little time to do everything I want to do in. What am I at now? It's leveled up. 1443. What I do like is, while I'm admiring Garelius's team, is how everything gets bigger, and then it's just Crystal. And Crystal is tiny. Should really sell those at some point. $70. Ah! Giant squid. That was actually surprising. Why is friend in inverted quotes? I mean, they challenged me. Anyway, I must return to my grind. Thank you for gracing me with your Luma. And that adorable animation. Wrong way. I just need experience to level to 25, and this was the highest level. I'm just doing a loop of the tower, essentially, just so I don't go crazy through boredom. So I'm just going from the top floor to the bottom and back. Well, top floor to the entrance and back. I know. I know I can heal faster, just run up and down in front of the entrance, but it's just to save my sanity, so I'm not just staring at the same patch of ground over and over again. I'm not going for an optimal grind, I'm going for a pleasant one. But I'm not even TV training. I'm just trying to get to level 25 with everything, so that I can finish up the content in the game. Well, the story content in the alpha. I don't. Hello. Thank you. Yeah, I expected it would be finished for you if your team is fully TV trained. I'm trying to do it on stream in about 2-hour bursts, so it's taken a while. Well, you know, it's taking a relatively long time. But 2 hours means that, like 2 hours of time means I have enough time during the day to get housework and stuff done, and then unwind, chat to people, that kind of thing. Also, I can't be bothered to put the time and effort into TV training when account wipes are a very real possibility. And if I did have more time in a day to devote to playing, I probably would. But, well, probably would, you know, have gone through this a lot quicker. Or a lot more quickly. I can't remember which is the correct grammar in that situation. Move called Tail Strike, animation uses fist. But then again, Tataru's animation is just a ground pound, so. It's not like all the animations are in the game. I'm also doing this slightly longer loop, because I had a bug last time that reset the encounters. So I'm hoping that if it triggers again, I can get the experience again from rebattling. Not that it should trigger any encounters, but one randomly triggered last time, so. Tamer battles, whatever. I love the idle animation. Looks like I'm standing on a surfboard. Although it does make me curious as to what happens during the battle scenes in terms of model positioning and whatnot. Well, that was not pleasant. Pardon me again, sorry chap. Probably go and heal up after this loop. After the return journey. Was that just through a lot of kind of TV training, or just through playing the game through the story, or through the story content? I mean, obviously a large part of anything like this is because there's no precedent for the game. There's no example of this Temtem is good, this one is bad. Although, yeah, I assumed it would be a late game thing. And I'm assuming more geared toward competitive stuff as well. I mean, you say it doesn't matter in the story, but there was a guy, I think it was a guy, who reached max level in Final Fantasy 15 in the starting area, and then just wiped the rest of the story. Or wiped the floor with the rest of the story. So if you could find a way to do it early, it would sort of matter, I guess, in a way, but I do not have the inclination to do it. Obviously it'd be a lot harder as well. Although I'm assuming that it's going to be similar to things like Pokemon training, with ideally you'll be fighting certain types of Temtem to get the best bonuses. Really should remember it defaults to the top left. Not that matters much, but eventually it will. And just mashing the F key will get me into trouble. Yeah, I think it doesn't go up that much each time in terms of experience required. Still going to be about 20 encounters to get to level 24, but yeah. See, I figured out Crystal and Genki. My 2i just didn't do great. I'm not sure if that was, you know, random luck of the draw with stats or not. Saku I have. The other two I haven't even caught, as far as I can remember. Well, yeah, I'm hoping things get evolutions eventually, like Crystal and the other starters. But I'm leaning towards this is possibly one of those games where, kind of unlike Pokemon, you will have to be mixing up your team a fair amount between islands until towards the end. Maybe. Who knows? Apart from the devs. The ape, Smazy. Yeah, I chose Crystal this time around. I'll probably pick a different one after the next account reset. As I've mentioned this to people who've dropped by before, but I'm not super into competitive play, so I'm not that bothered about optimal strategies. I'm just in it for a fun time. Casually. So I obviously a bit more leeway to experiment. But Crystal Dust is just so good. Especially with a lot of the Temtem on this island being wind types. Yeah, exactly. I do kind of wonder if the starters are going to have like a Pokemon style situation where one of them is obviously the easier one to start the game with, but then kind of falls behind late game when the final release is out. Yeah, level 9. It's not a terribly high requirement, and the stamina cost isn't too high, especially considering that it pretty much knocks everything out in one go after a certain point. Oh, by the way, if I sound like I'm repeating what you're saying, I have the standard 20-second delay on, so apologies. Yeah, I discovered that those two moves, well, those two Temtem work extremely well together with that moveset. Last time I played. And to be fair, that's probably the crutch I'm going to use for the Lady Lottie fight. At least until I notice it's not working, and then suddenly panic about what to do. Emails. Pointless email. I mean, Crystal one-shots a lot of things. I'm sure you've noticed by now. Down. Yep. Running into walls and things, just standard behavior for a Temtem tamer. Oh dear, that was unfortunate. Probably. I mean, you need to know. It's useful to have a tank that does a decent damage output. My luck in games like this tends to be I find a decent tank that has a very low damage output, so it's kind of almost not worth keeping it. Except using it to buy time to heal up everything else. Yeah, after the, the account reset and stuff, which I assume will be when they update the alpha with the next island, I'll definitely be using a different team to go through the story again and the new story content. And that is one I've definitely been looking at because it's so cute like everything else in this game. And having a Luma as a tank just means that you can see it for longer, and you can show it to your opponents for longer. Without having to recall it or have it get knocked out. Okay, I kind of worried it wasn't going to hit level 23 then, I'll be honest. Nope, wrong way. Yeah, let's go back and heal up. Mostly because I'm not so concerned if Luali is the last one at level 22 because it is a wind type and therefore procs his crystal dust. Really matter what moves. Mash the F key to save time. Hope that the Temporium lets me out again. Oh, it didn't need attack or special attack right now, based on the first island, but eventually it might. More tamers that I can't get to. It's very annoying. I assume as I get the surfboard I can go out there through the pool of water on the ground floor. Ground floor, bottom floor. Nope, nope. Start the loop. And really, do you need it to do anything else than kill things? It looks adorable, and it's deadly. Really confused for a moment then. So confused. I forgot that Saipat was in first place of my team roster. Oh, I imagine that a lot of your team's pretty deadly. Ah, a move I haven't even encountered because I haven't bothered training anything else. That's a lot of health. I imagine its defense is probably pretty high as well, if you're using it as a tank. Oh yes, of course. Yes, you don't want an electric type around with Whiplump. I know that much about Whiplump. The great thing, of course, about games with a control scheme as simple as this, you can play it one-handed. Now my left hand got pretty cold, so I'm just gonna shove that in my pocket, play with my right hand across the keyboard for a while. Might result in a few odd inputs or slower input, but there we go. I will definitely bear that in mind. I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to stop at the dojo after beating the dojo, and then just kind of, as I said, wait for the update. That's the word. Took a while to think of it for some reason. But if it if kind of I only takes an hour or so to get through the rest of the content, to get, you know, Free Sophia and I assume then beat the dojo, probably will explore for the rest of a stream if I'm streaming it. But if it has problems on the second island, then I'll do what I do in all the Pokemon games, and I will just leave the starter at the back of the team and have the rest of the team carry it, and see how well that strategy works for me. Because I feel very attached to my starters, so I don't do Nuzlocke runs. Yeah, exactly. When they announced that they were going to put one in as a stretch goal for this, I was very hesitant about whether I'd eventually do it or not. I'd be curious to know how implementing a Nuzlocke works under the hood in terms of the actual programming, or how Crema choose to implement it anyway. But I don't want to lose my starter. However, of course, you do then get the spectacular joy of crowdsourcing names for Temtem every time you catch a new one. Well, that's usually because, to some extent, kind of the starter's not, depending on the starter obviously, not always intended to see you through the entire game. Going with the Pokemon example, obviously being the big one, I always pick the grass type, because late game is challenging with the grass type. Almost to the point where it feels like you're not supposed to play the game with the grass type to the end. I really wish it wouldn't spit you out in a random direction after an encounter. Happily, I believe I've reached the point where move priority doesn't really matter anymore. That is a lot of Firestarter. Did you at least get anything decent in return? I can see why you'd be famous for putting so many Firestarter in the Wonder Trade. That's how you make a name for yourself. Not sure it'd be a good name, but it'd be a name. Yeah, Nintendo were very ban happy with IP, more copyright infringement, I guess. Actually, I think I might have heard about you doing that. Possibly. I wouldn't know from where, though. Yeah, but it's like, I guess Pokemon Uranium isn't a great example, but because it uses the Pokemon name. But if it's tricky thing with copyright, because the worry is if any single part of it is replicated, then your copyright is in some way diminished. Is the reasoning, I assume. And I do regular kind of workshop streams on Mondays, and I don't really. I'm happy that stuff I create is used by people, so I'm not such a big. I'm not in a position to need to do copyright enforcement. Yes, it would. I mean, Uranium, I think I've still got it installed, but what little I played of it was fantastic. And was obviously an incredible labour of love just through replicating it in RPG Maker. I really should go and play more of that. And of course there's is it Pokemon Cobalt, the Minecraft mod? I think that got shut down as well. And I believe Pixelmon got shut down, but that was just because that was just Pokemon sprites made into Minecraft models. Could be wrong on that though. Swap hands again. Problem with playing in a pretty cold room. Oh wow. Sorry, my mic was picking up my breathing there. Dealt so much damage. It was honestly incredible. Sorry, just readjusting my headset. Or adjusting my headset, I guess. I'm getting there slowly. It looks like I might be playing a little bit of this tonight, just to get some more experience. Ready to wrap it up tomorrow. I cannot recall that one to mind, but I will just check it. Random toolbar appearing. A quick Google search, a very quick one. I cannot find it, but I'm going to choose to believe that it is really cool. Oh, hey, email. Not what I'm waiting for. I will set these going. That looks really cool. That looks incredible. I really should spend more time on the wikis just to learn about the game, so that I can make informed decisions for the next time I play. I mean, to be fair, obviously this is an alpha, and there are... Yeah, bylines are so overrated, give us fire sharks now. Obviously this is alpha and there's so many more Temtem to be added, but so far there hasn't really been one I've looked at and thought that doesn't look cool, or at least really cute. Kind of questioned its design, questioned the design of it. I don't always understand the designs, but none of them look stupid, ridiculous or stupid. Obviously, of course, that might change in the future, but hey-oh, it's the nature of design, it's subjective. Yeah, Tateru definitely definitely leans more into it's just kind of cute than anything else, but everything is so far consistent, so there's that at least. I'm reasonably sure I know the one you're on about, but I will just check. Yes, that is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, that is ridiculously cute. The first time I caught a Swaley, well, the only time I caught a Swaley, kind of floored me for a moment or two, and then when it evolved, just the Wally is so cute. I will admit to not fully understanding the design choices behind some of them. I imagined it would be good too. Like, I don't 100% understand what Genki is supposed to resemble. I mean, its horns kind of look like electrodes, I get that, but I don't know if there's supposed to be a real world inspiration behind it or not. I mean, it'd be nice, but it's probably never going to happen. But it would be cool if eventually there's kind of like a dev walkthrough of design choices and things like that. Is it not so useful after the first island then? Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I wondered if that would be the case with Temtem over the obvious comparisons. Nice, congrats. I probably won't because I'm putting all this effort into leveling Genki up. So and I wanted something to replace my 2Y, and I didn't have an electric type, so. It was conveniently already in my collection. I think it is time to swap out for some lower level things. Yeah. I to be fair, before I decided to get rid of the 2Y, I was pretty much resigned to the fact that Crystal was going to carry me through the entire game. So I could see definitely where you were coming from. But that Chain Lightning Crystal Dust combination is just too good to miss up the opportunity to use. Well, that's good, at least. Just do what I generally do in Pokemon. Just use the tanks to buy time to heal everything else up. And I honestly wasn't sure if, in this example, if my Genki just had low health, or if everything else just had high health, but if 3 of them are tanks, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, and if that worked, well, I mean, obviously it worked for you because you beat the dojo and it triggers the crystal dust. Yeah, I just didn't find my 2i doing much with its hard-hitting moves. Especially because at the time that I was using it, it was not very strong against anything that I was encountering. It was always at type disadvantage. Because I was just fighting a lot of wind types. And mine just didn't have the stamina for the hard-hitting moves to be consistent. So I'm probably going to play until either my Saku or Tataru reaches level 25 and then wrap things up. Yes, I'd noticed. And it got really annoying, hence why I changed. But of course the game's set up so that it's quite easy to level lower level Temtem, especially with everything being a double battle. I have no idea about that kind of thing. There's your lists. I'm just gonna grab a drink. I'm going to close it and resume. Yeah, sounds about right. I assume it's a measurable progression then. Ah, sorry, I misread the question. Whoops, my bad. I might push on to get both of them to level 25. I've got the time, I think. Just, it'll take a while to, a bit longer to upload to YouTube. And then everyone can admire your Luma Whiplump. Got to move the mic back into place, my bad. Yet another benefit of getting a different mic. Yeah, well, I was thinking I might check how much content there is after the dojo on the wiki, and even if it's not story, still stream it. I haven't decided yet. But I might just stop streaming it twice a week, so I can start building an audience interested in other content. As you've noticed, this is a very small stream. Really, I'm just using whatever Temtem I have. Gonna do research between now and the next update. Yeah, I read the Kickstarter email about the low numbers, and that's fine. Obviously, it's a closed alpha, so there aren't that many people playing. But I do want to finish the content at least. What time is it? Oh, I've got a bit longer. I can try and get that working. Should probably. Oh, what? Idiot. Should probably just rearrange these. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I do playtesting for other games, and time. Some people just run out of like. Certainly, I don't have a lot of time during the day, which is why I tend to do only 2 hours at a time. But maybe it's just not to some people's taste. They thought it would be one thing, realized it was another. Didn't want to spoil the game for themselves, perhaps, or just had other things to play. But as I've said multiple times, I do at least want to finish the story content. And then maybe explore the post-story stuff. And everyone who swings by the stream seems, much like yourself, fun to talk to. Obviously know what they're talking about, unlike me, I have no idea. So it's a good community, even if it is only 7,000-ish strong. Yeah, I don't mind. I could talk to myself for more than 2 hours at a time if I have to. Don't feel like you have to stay. I appreciate the company, of course, but if you've got other things to be doing, by all means. Thank you for stopping by anyway. While I do that, I'm just going to start running up and down in front of the door. Is that an unusual thing? Will it take a while to get, or am I just displaying my complete ignorance of the game? $255, so 4 more. Oh, I did wonder about that, I'll be perfectly honest. I did wonder when it was kind of just given to me. That'll be cool. Yeah, I really should follow the devs on Twitter and stuff for news. Oh, so close. Interesting. Yeah, that's what prompted my thinking of that way. Of that kind of thing. Because the professor would know about those kind of things, of course. Huh, weird. Why did I do that? Let's use the mouse so it remembers that it's there for a purpose. It can morph to match its environment, apparently. Is the dialogue. Yeah, well, Max can go, if you pardon the crudity, go do on with his digital Temtem. Although it could be something like cast form, where it just changes based on the island you're on. I mean, obviously cast form changes based on weather, but one more should do it. I'm curious about, on a slightly unrelated note, well, I mentioned cast form because it might be a temporary change, let's say based on environment rather than. I haven't played Sun and Moon, so I don't have that as a reference point. Unfortunately, I want to so badly, but I can't justify buying them. There we go, level 25. So I'll be wrapping up after this. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool mechanic. Yeah, I'll be wrapping up after I go to the Temporium to heal. Go and heal up. Well, I would assume things like stats are going to be constantly changed anyway, so that would make sense. Right, just make sure I can leave. Oh good, I can. I have a repeat of that incident anytime soon, hopefully. So anyway, as I say, I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you for hanging out and chatting to me, keeping me company. I do appreciate it. If you're on tomorrow about the same time, I'll probably be streaming that. Ten is a large number of spaces. It could. It's probably unlikely, but it could. Yeah, I'll try and be online tomorrow about the same time-ish. Streaming this. I might, as I said, grind more out tonight, and so that I've got all 6 at 25. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, that's really it. Thank you, and see you around.